Fight fans all over the world, it's Daddy P with Slap Pappy Gorilla. What? Daddy P back? Hey, look, man, it's going bananas, man. Listen, all kind of good news I'm hearing in the boxing world. You got Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia looking like the deal is done. You got Errol Spence Jr, Keith Thurman. Man, look, we finally looking like we kind of getting some fights we want to see, man. Look, I'm real excited about this thing, man. But listen, this video right here, I'm tired of overlooking it. I'm tired of being silent. And I'm tired of trying to figure out a way to come. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence Jr, this fight, I got high hopes, man. Listen, I'm still optimistic, and I think this fight can happen. Listen, these two guys, the hottest names in the sport of boxing, in the hottest division in boxing, and some people saying now because of this Errol Spence Keith Thurman thing, he going to 154, whatever. Listen, these two guys, biggest fight to be made in boxing to date. I believe it still can happen. You know, it's a lot of different, man. People forget, man, boxing history. And you know, on this YouTube platform, you got a lot of guys that still kind of young. They probably don't remember a lot of this stuff, but man, this is Floyd Mayweather and Mayweather-Pacquiao happened. So this fight can happen. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't remember those negotiations. Some people don't remember the back and forth with that whole thing happening. And just because you have one serious negotiation and people walked away, you think that's the end? Come on, man. What kind of boxing fans, you know, are people that don't believe? You still got to believe. You still got to believe. Listen, hey, Terence Bud Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. Man, look, I ain't picking no sides. I like both of the boxers. Both guys, high boxing IQ. Both guys, I believe they cut from the same cloth. All that, man, he running, he scared. Nah. Errol Spence Jr. ain't scared of nobody. Terence Bud Crawford ain't scared of nobody. Both these guys got ice in their veins. Listen, both these guys, now this is the thing. As boxers grow and the maturation process, listen, these guys have now reached the point and a status in their career where they know their potential and they become more business minded. You know what I'm saying? They have more opportunities. They start seeing themselves outside of the sport of boxing. This sport that they've been doing for all of these years since they were very young, and now all their hard work is finally starting to produce results, and they start seeing millions of dollars. Now these guys become more business minded, and now people want to throw shade. Oh, he's scared. He didn't know. These guys know their potential. You know, people don't understand what it is because it ain't a lot of people. It ain't happened to. You know, a lot of people have not worked hard all their life for one particular thing, and now this particular thing has made you rich. Now you starting to realize your real potential. That's where these guys are. So you can't fault these guys. You can't pick at these guys and say, oh, he's scared and this, just because things not happening when you want it to happen. Come on, man. These guys get hit in the face for a living, bro. How they scared of somebody? These guys been fighting since they was young, bro. Real young. You know, all the fears that they have, man, they know how to conquer them already. So how is one person scared of this, scared of that? No, that's not what's happening. These guys have realized their potential. These guys both touching M's. They making millions, bro. How he's scared? How that person's scared? No, they realize their potential and they know what their worth is, and they trying to make this thing happen on their own terms. So of course you go have things like this happen. Now I know it's a different dynamic than Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, you know, but I mean the same concept, man. Those guys became bigger than the sport of boxing, and they both realized their potential. So that's why that thing dragged on like it did, you know. And both guys were mega stars, you know, before they ever came to negotiations. They were seeing like gaudy amounts of money. So, you know, yeah, that's probably a little bit different, but the sport of boxing itself has taken on a whole different personality. So, you know, yeah, it's different, but still the same to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but the whole point of this video, man, I still got high hopes for Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford. I respect both guys. I believe they cut from the same cloth. Both guys have, man, come from a long way. Now these guys making millions of dollars. Now these guys know their worth, and I believe this. I really do believe this. They respect each other's acumen for the sport. I believe that, you know. I believe they do, you know. But in order for this fight to happen, though, man, in order for this fight to happen, to be fair, and I'm not blaming one guy or the other, but Terence Bud Crawford needs representation. You need representation, bro. And like the same people I just was talking about, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. But Floyd Mayweather, he had the same. He came from the same promotional outfit as Terence Crawford. He was with top-ranking Bob Arum. He bought out his contract, and even when he went out on his own, he still had representation, man. He still had representation. Yeah, he had Al Heyman, and also, even though he started Mayweather Promotions, he had, and Leonard Ellaby was his CEO and all this stuff, man. Listen, he still allowed Golden Boy to take care, to co-promote his event. From the time after he fought Oscar De La Hoya. Listen, some of y'all might not remember this or might not know this. Some of the younger guys, man, listen. When Floyd Mayweather left Top Rank, and when he ended up fighting after he fought Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, in conjunction with Mayweather Promotions, took care of promoting Floyd Mayweather fights on a fight-by-fight basis. Now, he wasn't in a long-term contract with them. They handled it on a fight-by-fight basis. That's how Floyd wanted to do business. You know, on a fight-by-fight basis, from the time after he fought Oscar De La Hoya all the way until he fought Marcos Maidana for the second time. Remember, he fought him one time. He gave him a rematch. From even the second time fighting, all of those fights were co-promoted by Golden Boy and Al Heyman. Well, I can go further back than that. Some of y'all don't remember Jay Prince was Floyd Mayweather's manager at one time. He had some dealings with Jay Prince. But Al Heyman is the one that really, and Floyd Mayweather said it out his own mouth, man. I got some articles I can put in the description. If I forget to put them in the description, look for them in the comments, man. I'll put some articles in there, you know. Some of this stuff y'all can look up on your own, man. It's Google, you know. But anyway, Floyd Mayweather had representation. And the reason why I bring up Floyd Mayweather, because he's the biggest name in the sport. He was the biggest name in the sport of boxing, but he wasn't always the biggest name. Floyd Mayweather came from Top Rank just like Terence Bud Crawford. He ended up buying out of his contract, though. He didn't wait for it to end. You know, he bought out his contract, and like I say, on a fight-by-fight basis, he still had representation. He still had people co-promoting along with Mayweather Promotions. And then on the back end, he still had Al Heyman to fall back on as like a manager, advisor, whatever. And man, look what happened with him. Floyd Mayweather now is a partner of Al Heyman, you know, and all of this stuff happening with PBC. Most of it is in conjunction with Floyd Mayweather. So that's why I say, Terence Crawford, man, you need some representation. Now, some people will go on the tangent and talk all about, you know, like, calling people dumb. And I know that's not the way to go, you know. And for all of the people that's saying this person, that person, like, I respect Andre Ward. But to try to make it like, okay, Errol Spence is running or what? Nah, man, take the man under your wing. Take Terence Crawford under your wing and let him know, hey, man, somebody need to talk to this guy, man. You need representation. You cannot negotiate this stuff on your own. Just because you got a team that you trust, these guys help you get where you are, you know, as an athlete. But man, you need a different type of representation when they go in these rooms, making these legal decisions and making these things happen business-wise. You need somebody with that type of acumen, business acumen. You need somebody like that to represent you, you know. And Mayweather, no, I mean, I'm saying the wrong name. Errol Spence is his own boss. But he has representation. Don't undermine the fact that he has someone with a business acumen in Al Heyman. Don't undermine that to say, no, he's not his own boss. He has somebody that represents him, you know, in these type of rooms where these type of decisions are made, where these type of legal things and legal jargons and all this stuff, you know, he has somebody to represent him, you know. So, yes, Terence Crawford, you need representation in order to make this fight happen. This fight is bigger than you. This fight, I ain't gonna say this fight is actually bigger than the sport, but this is one of those type of fights that the sport needs. The sport needs this fight. So it's much bigger than you, you know. And I'm not knocking Terence Crawford. I like Terence Crawford. I've been following Terence Crawford for a while, and I'm not one that's gonna say Terence Crawford running. I'm not the one that's gonna say Errol Spence running. I'm the one that's gonna defend both these guys to say, man, look, both these guys deserve what they're gonna get from this fight. But in order for it to happen, there needs to be business-minded people to close the door and go into a room. Not all this media throwing all your dirty laundry out in the media. No, that's not how it's gonna happen. Take a page out of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Some of y'all don't remember this stuff, man. Like I say, some of these guys young. In 2007, you can look this stuff up, man. Some of this stuff is on YouTube. Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya. 2007, got a split decision. Same year, knocked out Ricky Hatton. This was a big time for Mayweather in the sport. Mayweather says, oh, I'm retiring. 2008, Manny Pacquiao come and fought the same two people he fought. He fought Oscar De La Hoya and he fought Ricky Hatton. You know? He kind of, and some people say, oh, he won up Floyd because he stopped, it was like a TKO with De La Hoya. And then with Ricky Hatton, he knocked him out in a sooner round than Floyd Mayweather, in an earlier round than Floyd Mayweather knocked him out. So now everybody got this buzz. It's a buzz around Manny Pacquiao. 2009, Mayweather came back to the sport, say, hey, I'm the king. I'm back, baby. Remember, he fought Juan Manuel Marquez. So now he say, I'm back. Hey, I'm ready to come and claim mine. So they start, now, mind you, it was always a buzz. A few years before that, it was always a buzz about Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather coming together. But now it's starting to get a little more serious. And in 2010, man, these guys tried to really come into negotiations, and what flattened the tire, what quenched the fire, or whatever, however you want to say it, was drug testing for the fights. You know, Manny Pacquiao didn't want to agree to Floyd's very stringent drug testing, you know, saying that, oh, we already have a very popular and noteworthy drug program in place. But Floyd Mayweather say, hey, I want to be protected in the sport, so I want it to be a little bit more stringent, and, you know, both sides kind of, and then there became like this, like, I think it was from a quote in 2009. But anyway, Manny Pacquiao ended up even suing them. It was like a big defamation of character lawsuit around Mayweather's team, accusing Pacquiao of using performance-enhancing drugs. So all of those things happened, man. That was like the first serious negotiation, you know? And the fight was supposed to, they was trying to get something to go for like in 2010, but all of that stuff came to a halt because all of this stuff like lawsuits and the drug testing actually being more stringent than the normal. And so, and then like in 2012, Mayweather come back and offered Manny Pacquiao $40 million. Some of y'all might remember that. So Pacquiao like, okay, well, whatever. But in late 2012, Manny Pacquiao ended up, man, I remember this because, hey, I was all about this fight. So when those guys fought, I was like, man, this person, this. And I remember telling somebody, man, and this person, this young lady I used to work with, I think she was what was my man name, man? Pacquiao fought. Puerto Rican guy, because this was a Puerto Rican young lady. Miguel Cotto. Popular guy at that time, man. Manny Pacquiao knocked him out. Manny Pacquiao put a number on him. And I liked Miguel Cotto even back then, but, you know, Pacquiao put it on him, man. And it's like, I was talking about that. I guess she heard me talking about it one time, and I guess she had something against me. So when Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, oh boy, look at here, boy. She was throwing it all in my face because she knew I was a big boxing fan, and she was a big fan. She wasn't really a big boxing fan, but she was a fan of Miguel Cotto, you know, he's Puerto Rican. So she was just representing for her, you know, her countrymen or whatever. So, but yeah, that happened. I think that was like in late 2012. I think that happened like in December. But in 2013, Mayweather came back and said, man, no, I don't want to do no business with Bob Errol. So it was just all of these things going back and forth with these negotiations. 2014, Pacquiao say, let's do it for charity. And you know the money, man, Money Mayweather wasn't with that. You know what I'm saying? But finally, in 2015, both guys at a basketball game. It was the Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat in Miami. And these guys met. Manny Pacquiao had his, I don't know if he was considered a manager or advisor, whatever, something like that. Michael Kant was with Manny Pacquiao. They talked to Mayweather at the game. And from what I understand, they went back to a hotel room and they talked and started ironing things out. And lo and behold, 2015, he got the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. So, all of this stuff happened, man. They had serious negotiations one time, fell through. All of these different things, lawsuits, all this different talk about drug tests, all of this stuff happening. So now you think that just because Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have one negotiation where it didn't see them fighting right away, that the whole thing is over? No. It don't have to be. It don't have to be over just because one negotiation failed. Just because Terence Crawford went and say, man, okay, I want to be busy. This don't seem like it's working out for me. I'm going on and fight, and I'll talk to him later. Just because that happened, yeah, I'm not saying either way, good or bad, that this person ain't do this person wrong. No, it ain't about that. I'm a fan of boxing. I want to see some guys get in the ring and duke it out. I don't care what happened between them in business rules. That ain't my business. Because this the thing. Everybody who thinks they know these people's business, y'all do not know what happened in those rooms. The stuff that comes out in the media is only a fraction of what happened. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody say what happened in prison. Ain't never been to prison. You know? And in that case you say, believe none of what you hear and part of what you see. You know? I went to prison when I was young, bro. A long time ago. But I understand that statement. You know what I'm saying? So what you think you know that happened in negotiations, you really don't know. You don't know what happened in the room. But anyway, all of this stuff happened, man. But Floyd, my whole point is Floyd Mayweather had representation. Manny Pacquiao had representation. And still that fight dragged on. Now, we don't want to see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford drag on and miss they sell by date, whatever. Even though Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather was, especially at that time, the biggest thing imaginable for the sport of boxing. It was a breath of fresh air for the sport of boxing. It proved that big fights and fights we want to see can still be made. Because, man, look, boxing came from a time at one point in time when it was like the Four Horsemen era, man. You know, you had Leonard, Hagler, Hearn, you know, all those guys, and those guys fighting each other, man. Those guys getting in the ring and not caring about whether they go lose or whatever. They just wanted to prove who was the baddest. Now, the sport has morphed into something different now. I understand that. But Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight taking place is, to me, it put faith back in the sport that we can see the fights that we want to see, because the sport became something where it's a lot of matchmaking and a lot of politics. But through all the matchmaking, through all the politics, Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather coming together to fight proved to the sport of boxing that we can still see the fights we want. And that's what gives me faith about this fight, man. I believe this fight can still happen. But Terence Crawford, you need some representation. Mayweather came from the same outfit, top ranked. Mayweather became the biggest name in the sport of boxing. But he still had representation. He didn't just leave and say, oh, I'm good, I got Mayweather Promotions, and we gonna make this thing happen. Yeah, they made it happen, but he had representation. Terence Crawford, representation, man, representation. Man, this whole country, because of representation. That's why, taxation without representation. That's why they broke away from the British. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, man, look, how we gonna pay taxes? Ain't gonna be represented. Man, you need representation, bro. You need representation. It might sound like I'm not making no sense right now. But man, having representation will, look. I bring up Andre Ward. Like I say, I respect Andre Ward. Andre Ward, man, you know, he got your little brother, Shakur Stevenson, in with Jay Prince. That's representation, man. I know Jay Prince right now, he might not be the name that, you know, right now Jay Prince got a lot going on. That might not be the person. Maybe I shouldn't have brought that up. That's a sore spot. I'm not gonna elaborate on that, but Representation, man. Representation. Andre Ward, somebody, man, talk to Terence Crawford, man. All of these people that just like, okay, Tim Bradley, how they getting, like, choosing sides is not what's gonna get this fight done. To say, oh, the choosing side to say, oh, Errol Spence running from Terence Crawford. They got the narrative mixed up. No, man, instead of doing all of that, some of these high-profile, respected people that were boxers one time and had representation, man, hey, take these guys under wing, let them know stuff, man. It ain't all about slinging mud to nobody. Just because you like this boxer more than this boxer, nah, man, take these young guys under wing and let them know. Man, look, tell them what they need to do. Don't try to throw shade on other people on their behalf. That's not what's going to get this fight done. What's going to get this fight done is the same thing that happened with Mayweather-Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. They stopped airing their dirty laundry out in the media, and they came together. They went in a room somewhere and talked. They hashed out their differences, and they made the biggest fight for the sport of boxing happen, and they made plenty money in the process. Listen, it's plenty money in that fight. Terence Crawford, you know, whether you see this number, that number, see this paperwork, that paperwork, man, look, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? PBC has been a part of some of the most lucrative fights in the history of boxing. So how, with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, how it's not gonna work out? How? You know what I'm saying? I understand two guys coming together. I understand you guys are realizing your potential and you want things on your terms, but get some representation. Somebody advise you, they gonna do all of that stuff. They gonna make sure that the books ain't cooked. They gonna make sure that everything is right, because when you paying them, they getting a percentage of what you making, so they want to make you happy. And it's not cutting you out of money. And I believe one of the things that happened with Terence Crawford, he might still be traumatized from what happened to him at Top Rank. And I don't mean that in a way to say, oh, poor Terence Crawford. No, he a millionaire. Nah, he a millionaire. It ain't no poor Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is a millionaire. But Terence Crawford, I remember when he re-signed with Top Rank, a lot of people were saying, why he re-signed with Top Rank? Ain't no welterweight fighters over there for him to fight. Or ain't nobody for him to fight. You know? But if you look at it like this, Bob Arum put him in a position where he fought for undisputed at 140. Bob Arum put him in that position, and now they were on the dawn of a whole new era for that outfit. If y'all remember, some of y'all don't remember, HBO was the biggest platform, well, one of the biggest platforms for the sport of boxing. HBO stopped covering boxing. So now you have a vacuum or open door for something else to come in. Even though it wasn't ESPN realized at the time, you know, behind the scenes, businessmen who are businessmen are making things happen for the next phase of their business. So Bob Arum, I'm sure, was in talks with people and found ESPN. It probably wasn't realized yet, but he knew ESPN was going to be the next thing for the next phase of his business. So yeah, he probably re-signed Terence Crawford and waved some money in his face and told him about guarantees. That's why I believe Crawford is all about these guarantees and these things that Bob Arum said. I don't believe it's a lie. All this money I lost on Terence Crawford, I could build a mansion in Beverly Hills, but I'm not taking sides. But what I'm saying is, some of that might be true, but what Bob Arum ain't telling you is he got some payment on the back end. He got promised something from ESPN. Terence Bud Crawford is like one of the foundational fighters that helped build that top-ranked ESPN platform. I guarantee it. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, he might have lost some money on some of them fights, but he was still getting promised a relationship of longevity for his business. That's basically gonna take him into where he probably ain't gonna even be alive when that relationship dies. Or it might not ever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he brought out something, but at the same time, he was able to give guarantees because he knew that that business relationship was going to take his business to the next phase of, you know, the company. But Terence Crawford was able to get those guarantees. That's why Terence Crawford is basically wanting guarantees, you know? And I think that Terence Crawford he know that his potential could have been more because he could have been promoted different. I think that has a lot to do with why he don't trust people, but Terence Crawford, the proof is in the pudding, man. I don't know why boxers have a hang up about Al Heyman and PBC, and, you know, like I even heard Demetrius Andre. No black eye on Demetrius Andre, and I'm glad he got some exposure. He was on that Tank Davis undercard, and he said something to the effect that, hey, look, no, I'm not signed to Al Heyman. I'm just able to get this fight on Showtime. And yeah, I understand that, but people say this, like, some of this stuff where's this stuff coming from? Like, Al Heyman got some kind of disease or something, or like Al Heyman is some kind of crooked businessman. But where's this coming from? You know, like these guys at PBC, it's been eating. They've been eating, man. Errol Spence Jr., look how his career has blossomed. Tank Davis, look how his career has blossomed. He done broke off from Floyd Mayweather. He took a page out of Mayweather book. He broke off from who built him up. Now he's starting to do his own thing. But he have representation, bro. He got representation. You know, even if you don't want to sign with Al Heyman, get some representation, get this fight done. It can happen. I'm not one to talk about who's scared, who not. But what I am an advocate for is that, man, look, these guys who are respected in the sport, that talk to these guys, that talk to the Terence Crawfords, man, advise this guy in the right way. Don't tell, oh man, that's wrong how they do you, how Errol Spence. Nah. No mud throwing. Tell this guy, man, you need to get some representation. Y'all need to go in the room, talk about it, and then let your representation represent you for a business. Man, look, Al Heyman is a Harvard graduate, businessman. You know what I'm saying? So he represents Errol Spence Jr. So don't use it that, oh, Errol ain't his own boss. He worked. Nah, it ain't that he worked for Al Heyman. Al Heyman represents him. So get you some representation to go in there with Al Heyman. You and Errol talk about it, and then let y'all representation finish the work, man. Not all this stuff in the media, all this name calling, all of this dirty laundry. Nah, man, that's not how this fight is gonna happen, man. This fight is gonna happen because business-minded people are going to go and get the agreements that the boxers need and that they want to make the money that they deserve and get this fight cracking. Listen, hey, I'm all about it. This Daddy P, the Slap Happy Gorilla. Hey, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm only getting started. I'm just starting to get cooking on this channel, man. I just restarted the channel, man. Look, there's more to come. Y'all holla at your boy. This Daddy P signing off.